Do you think that AI could replace us as print-on-demand sellers? Could it get to the stage where a platform like commercial Amazon just says, we don't need the seller community anymore, we'll just tell an AI to do the entire job? Welcome to another episode of Print on Demand Wisdom. Today we've got Steve with us. He's an active member in the Discord community server, and he did really well in tier 10. He got a lot of sales, and he's also started using AI artwork and getting sales with it. So I think those are some really interesting topics that a lot of people can learn from. How are you doing, Steve?
Doing great. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk with you. It's not every day that you get to talk to your heroes. And
Oh, stop it.
You've been a hero to so many people in the print-on-demand business, and we appreciate all the wisdom and insight you offer. I'm proud to be a charter member of the of Philip Anders YouTube group. Happy to pay my 99-cent dues and be a member of that, be a Padawan
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You were one of the first.
The Philip Anders fan club. I'm there.
Well, thank you for that. I'm really happy to help people out, and I think through these conversations as well, we can learn sort of new things from lots of different people and take some stuff on board, ignore some stuff, and just improve through that. So, how long were you stuck in tier 10 for? Because that's a massive thing that's happening right now. Lots of people are just stuck in there for ages, even though they've hit 10 sales. How long did it take you to get out?
Well, it felt like an eternity. So I was accepted onto Amazon in July of 2022. Short story is that it wasn't until November of that year, and when I had effectively 78 sales, that I finally got tiered up. I had 82 sales, minus 4 returns. And so, you make those first 10 sales and you think, okay, that's going to be the magic number that's going to make everything automatically kind of happen. And quickly realized, no, that's not the case. I kept making more and more sales. Just woke up every day thinking, okay, maybe today is going to be the day that I'll tier up. And no, it never, it didn't happen until months later. And so I think that's what, tier 10 people would want to realize is that, it might not be 10 sales.
When did you hit 10 sales initially then?
So it took me about a month. I kind of did everything that you advise people to do in terms of, I talked to friends about designing some custom shirts. I designed some things that I felt like, they wanted, but would also be appropriate to have on Amazon that would sell again down the road in the future. I bought a couple of my own T-shirts, not too many, but I worked hard to get those 10 sales, and I thought that was going to so it was about a month for me to make those sales.
So it must have been quite frustrating then to get 10 sales so quickly and have to wait, like 4 months? Like, did you lose hope along the way?
Well, quite frustrating is an understatement. I was unhappy to be stuck in tier 10 for so long. And it was encouraging to talk to other people who were in tier 10 and find out that the same thing was happening to them. I heard all kinds of horror stories about other people who were stuck in tier 10 who had more sales than me. In fact, at one point I kind of realized that for t-shirt niches, people who are stuck in tier 10 is its own t-shirt niche. I mean, there's so many hundreds of people who are stuck there. And so, I designed t-shirts, specifically for people who are stuck in tier 10.
That's actually a really good idea. Yeah, you showed me some of them before, and it's, you don't even realize, but there's so many people stuck in tier 10 right now. Did you sell any of them, or did you just design them?
No, it was just for fun.
Just for fun.
No, I didn't have my slots. I only had
how could you?
But no, it was just for fun.
But to give some hope to the people who are still stuck in tier 10, I mean, you did eventually get tiered up, and I think it didn't take you long to get to the next tier after that, did it, either?
Exactly. I thought I was going to be in tier 25 for maybe the same amount of time. I had no idea, and I was kind of prepared for the worst. But I already had more than 25 sales, of course. So I knew I qualified. But I was surprised. It was in December that I finally got tiered up. So it was just about a month. And one thing people might not know, especially tier 10 people might not know, is Amazon tends to do tier ups all at the same time. I mean, if you're on social media, you'll see, people posting, "Hey, I got tiered up today,"
Yeah.
And so that was the day I was, checking my Amazon, minute by minute to see if it happened for me, and it finally did. But Amazon tends to do it in waves, so it's not just going to be
in bulk.
that sale or that 25th sale that's going to do it. They're gonna do it in bulk. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would like to give on to people as well. Is you're eligible for the next tier up, but that doesn't mean Amazon will do it. They'll do it eventually in bulk, but that doesn't mean they do it to everyone. It seems they just do it to like I don't know, 50% of the people. I don't really know how it works. No one knows, but
Right.
So considering you got quite a lot of sales then with very little slots, how do you think you did that? Because that's quite a lot, like 82 sales, you said. I think that's pretty decent if you only have 10 design slots. How did you do that? What was your best sort of advice for that?
The one thing that really helped was I was able to come up with a bestseller in October. And if there's a rubric, I'm a teacher, and so if there's a rubric for grading a t-shirt design, I think it met all the criteria. I can't say that about every design of mine, but this one, I had good text on the image. I came up with an original phrase that I felt like worked well for the niche. I had it was in a broad niche, and then I sub-niched, down a specific group. It was a seasonal item.
It was Halloween, wasn't it? We can reveal Halloween. That was the overarching niche, but you found a pocket within that and created an original design, right?
Right. And it just worked well. I mean, just frankly, I was happy with how successful it was. So that was kind of the thing. So the advice is to design a bestseller.
Yeah, great advice. But yeah, no, definitely. That's definitely helped with your sales, but I'm guessing that also gave you the confidence that you can create designs that sell if you find the right topic, the right sub niche, and if you come up with something unique and it's actually good design and not just thrown up like a lot of rubbish. This bestseller of yours also got copied, right? Pixel for pixel.
There were two. There were two copies. One was a pixel for pixel. I was getting daily sales, multiple daily sales of my design, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And this was before Halloween. So after one day of no sales, okay, that's too bad. Second day of no sales, wait a minute, something's going on here. So I searched and found a pixel for pixel copy. It took me 2 attempts in contacting Amazon to have it removed. I think I probably lost about a week's worth of sales from that. So that was kind of frustrating. In the meantime, I also found a kind of a replication of my design. I mean, frankly, there's no way that with this particular design that somebody would come up with the same idea as what I had. Basically, they changed the font, and that was pretty much it. So that was kind of disappointing.
So it wasn't pixel for pixel in that case, but that would be considered copyright infringement because it's literally your design with like minimal changes, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So you noticed your sales going down once those were out there?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I did notice that. And so, there was nothing I could do about the one that was a replication. But fortunately that pixel for pixel one got taken down, and then I did notice my sales starting increasing again.
Okay, that's really good. So how long did it take them to well, how long did it take you to email them and get it taken down?
Right. So there was, so I did send an initial, email and, notification that, hey, hey, this is, a pixel for pixel copy. Nothing, no response, nothing for probably 2 days, I think. And then I sent another email, basically the same thing. And then I think it was, another 2 days, and then it got taken down.
Okay. Did you give them some proof as well? Did you have to like show the design file or?
Right. Yeah. I don't remember the exact process, but I went through the Amazon, system for reporting and gave my ASIN and gave the infringing ASIN.
Yeah, I guess they'd be able to tell like which one was uploaded earlier.
Right.
Yeah, judge from that. Yeah, that's definitely some good advice, I think, for low tier sellers. If you have a design that's sold, just make sure that there's no copycats. Like if you're in a higher tier and you have thousands of designs, you can't prevent it. But if the sales are quite important for tiering up, then I'd keep an eye out if in case someone actually copies it pixel by pixel and get it taken down. Because like in your case, it was actually hindering your sales, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Suddenly. Yeah. What would be your best advice to people who are still stuck in tier 10, who are struggling to get sales, or maybe they manage to get 10 sales, but they're just not getting tiered up?
I would just say, hang in there and be encouraged that, you're not alone. That's a very typical kind of thing to happen, to be stuck in tier 10 with more than 10 sales. I would say keep learning, keep designing, keep uploading to drafts, keep researching, plan ahead. Think, okay, if I'm stuck in tier 10 for another month or maybe another 2 months, when I finally get out of tier 10, what can I have ready to go that's going to be maybe trending at that time? And so just have lots of designs ready, and keep uploading to drafts. And I'm a believer, I know there's lots of opinions about this, but I tend to think that Amazon might have human beings who are looking at drafts, because I'm in so fun fact here, I'm in tier 100, and right now I have 104 designs that are live. And one morning I woke up and was getting ready to upload some designs and noticed that, wait a minute, I've got 102 designs that are live here. What's going on with that? And so in order to upload another design, I had to delete, I think I had to delete 3 in order to give me that extra slot. And so I uploaded the design, and then a day or 2 later, same thing happened. It was like 102 designs, and then so I had to delete a couple to get one up, and then now I'm at 104. The productor thing even says -4. I've got -4 free slots, and so I figured I have to delete 5 designs in order to upload 1 new design. And that's when I kind of figured out, enough is enough. I'm happy with what I've got. So I'm just going to keep uploading to drafts and keep doing that. But I don't know if that's a thing that happens to other people. But
yeah,
I think
definitely strange. I did see some people talk about that in the group. I think some other people had the same thing. I don't know why it's happening. But yeah, maybe it has to do something. Maybe it has something to do with the automatic uploads to what's it called, international marketplaces. Because a lot of people were also saying that they started to do that for the lower tiers.
That was really surprising to me. That like the first time that happened, it was kind of astonishing because in tier 10 you can only upload. I don't even remember. I think it's 1 new design per day, and I don't even remember how many products. It's like 2 products per day or something like that. And then to wake up the next morning and look at my merch account and find out that 5 products have been uploaded to foreign markets or even in the US, that was surprising to see that happened. And that tends to make me think that there's people looking at it. I might be alone in my thoughts about that, but
I don't feel like that, but I mean, you're happy to have that opinion. I just feel like not even the support team we're talking to is people. It's just like a handful of, like it's a group of people that manage the algorithm that does it or something, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Now that you've tiered up, you've started getting into AI artwork, haven't you?
I have.
So first of all, where do you get your AI artwork from, and how have you been selling it? Like, how have you been using it?
So using AI art for me has been a total game changer. The process, the typical process would be, to come up with an idea and then go search for graphics and images to go along with that idea. And I would search the typical sources for good graphics and that kind of thing. And it's kind of a treasure hunt trying to find the right image. But honestly, I got onto your Discord group. I'd never really heard of Discord until following you, and I'm an old guy. I'm not on all those kind of things.
Yeah,
But
not all the social media. Yeah.
right. So I got into Discord, and through that heard about Midjourney and started experimenting with that, and that's just been a total game changer. I started out with the lower level membership and quickly used up all my my credits and everything for that lower level. So I upgraded and just having a great time using Midjourney and getting images that way.
What's your process like for turning that AI artwork that you generate with Midjourney into t-shirt designs? Because it's not just you type something in and then you're done, right? You have to still go through a whole process with it.
Right. Yeah. So the first process, of course, is to come up with a good idea. I mean, you might have a great graphic, but all the traditional wisdom about finding a good t-shirt niche and a good topic and all that's still all totally relevant. But just differences, instead of going to the other websites for images, I go to Midjourney. I've learned how to craft prompts and come up with good ideas. One thing I will say is that I almost never use the first images that come back on a prompt. I mean, I'll maybe refine the prompt and refresh it and reload it maybe a dozen times or so till I finally get the image that I'm looking for. So there's a whole art to writing Midjourney prompts and getting the image that you're looking for. So from that point, then I'll bring the image into Adobe Illustrator to do an image trace to upgrade the image. I appreciate your video recently on upscaling the image to a higher resolution. I'm eager to kind of try out the processes that you mentioned there. It was kind of surprising that Photoshop, I'm going to give a spoiler alert here, but it's kind of surprising that Photoshop was not the best system.
No.
But anyway, I upload the image into Adobe Illustrator, upscale it, increase the resolution, and then bring it into Photoshop. I do all my designs in Photoshop, and then from there, add the text and come up with the final PNG file.
In terms of that process with upscaling in Illustrator, because I've also tried that. I mean, I've tried Photoshop, I've tried the free website in that video. What I find with Illustrator is that you often, if you have like a more complex graphic, the edges are kind of jagged and a bit, not very smooth, not the result you want. So is that something that you refine afterwards in Photoshop? Or do you have like some specific settings in Illustrator to get a better result?
Well, that's a great question. And I should add that I rarely use an image just straight from Midjourney without any Photoshop work. One thing about Midjourney and all the AI artwork, I mean, in terms of like anatomy and getting, getting things right, there's always something that needs to be tweaked and changed. The typical thing is hands. I mean, AI artwork is just notorious for, putting 8 fingers on a hand and things like that. So so I'll always, edit an image in Photoshop. But in terms of the resolution and getting the quality that I want, the settings that I use, I don't remember the term, but it's like low in Illustrator.
Low fidelity image, I think it's called.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of the setting that I've found works the best.
To you, what's been the most helpful in terms of getting better results? Because there's so many tips out there, lots and lots of videos popping up with tips for Midjourney, tips for AI. Have you found like a really good method or tip that works for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I agree that it's changing all the time, and there's a lot of great wisdom out there. The thing that's been most helpful for me is using Midjourney through Discord, looking at the community feed of Midjourney, and I think they hand select the images that go up on the community feed, and 90% of them are not probably related to print on demand, maybe for gaming or for KDP books or things like that. But sometimes you can go through and you can kind of tell the images that are designed for print on demand. And right now on Midjourney, I don't know if this is going to change in the future, but everything's pretty public. You can really see other people's images, you can read their prompts. And so studying other prompts has been very helpful to me to find something that's clearly a print-on-demand appropriate graphic, and studying the prompts, and what kind of words did they use in the prompt to come up with a good result. One big thing that I struggled with a number of weeks ago was having images that are cropped too tightly, where people's heads were cut off, or it wouldn't show. You want a full body image, and the things are getting cut off. The big help with that was using the word sticker. Think of like a typical Redbubble sticker. The image is going to be confined to that sticker space, and so just using the word sticker often helps with cropping and getting the full image. The word full body shot is another one that helps with that. In terms of getting, if you want a head to toe image of somebody, but that's helpful. But just studying the prompts has been the most helpful thing for me. Is hey, that image looks great. That totally looks like a print on demand image. What did they say in the prompt to get it to look like that?
Yeah, that's definitely a good tip. That's something I haven't looked into yet. I don't even know where to find the community page. I'm guessing it's in the Discord server, or is it on the Midjourney website, or?
I don't remember how to get there. Actually, now that I think about it, I mean, I think I've got it bookmarked, and it's just a couple of clicks away. But you can the two elements of Midjourney that I really like. You've got your personal images that you've created on your account, but then you can do a what's called a personal feed. So when you see people that you whose images you really like, that are designing maybe for print on demand, you can like them, or follow. I think the term is follow, so you can follow those people. And then so I've got my personal feed where I follow some people and enjoy looking at their images. But then there's a community feed that's just pretty amazing to see what kinds of things people are doing on Midjourney.
In the light of all this new technology, then with Midjourney and other AI artwork, do you think that these tools will make services like Vexels and Creative Fabrica, which are massive in the print on demand space, do you think AI will make them go obsolete?
Well, I'm probably the last person to give any business wisdom and that kind of thing. I will say that it's a game changer, and there's all kinds of industries. I mean, every industry has been affected by technology change, and I think AI is here to stay. You can debate the merits and the problems with AI and with AI artwork and with AI video. I mean, there's some kind of alarming things happening with AI video, but I think AI is here to stay, and so I hope Vexels doesn't go away, but they might have to adapt. I think Creative Fabrica is really smart to have that AI component to their service.
I think there's still good reasons to use Vexels and Creative Fabrica, and I still do. Because as of now, like one example would be text. Like, have you ever tried generating text on Midjourney or any AI tool? Like, it just doesn't work so far.
It doesn't work. I've seen a few things lately that have kind of popped up on the community feed that somebody actually got text to work, and it's surprising. But right, that's one element of AI artwork at this point. it's February 2023. At this point, text does not work in the Midjourney images. When you get an image back, I kind of know I'm going to have to delete. Well, I know for sure I'm going to have to delete the text and Photoshop it out. One thing I will say though, it's really good with coming up with fonts. When you have an image that has a graphic and text in it, the font that they're using is usually appropriate for that design style. And so when I'll add, I'll go back and change the text that's on an image. I'll try and match that font as best I can. And so that's been helpful.
That's a good tip. I never thought about that. So the AI knows to associate fonts with certain styles. That's really cool. Yeah, but I think overall as well, if you go to Vexels now, you can get a pre-made graphic. I know there's not as much abundance. You can't, like you said before, you have to go hunting for some certain specific topics. There's not as much on offer on Vexels Creative Fabrica. But you can get a graphic and you've got it instantly. It looks perfect. It's in high quality. There's a lot of advantages still, whereas with AI, you have to obviously go through the process, creating the prompts, refining them, then upscaling, photoshopping. Like there's a lot more that comes to it. And I definitely feel like at the moment it's still very time consuming. Obviously you can create very great artwork with it. Like I do love it as well. But I think as of now, there's still definitely reasons for using both in our case.
It's kind of hard to imagine right now using AI images without using Photoshop. There's something in every image that needs to be refined. I mean, every now and then you'll get one that's just a home run from the get-go. But even with cropping and deleting the perimeter of an image, or again changing the text. Or changing the anatomy a little bit. There's always something that needs to be photoshopped. So for newer print-on-demand sellers who don't have Photoshop, you might get frustrated with the results you're getting from AI images. And in those cases, for sure, the pre-made graphics are going to be the way to go. I enjoy being creative and having fun with it, and I'm not intimidated by the Photoshop process.
Yeah. I think that might be a part of it as well. If you're creative, I think you'll be more drawn to AI in general because it lets you sort of live out your creativity. But if you're not bothered about that, it might be more interesting to you. Just get a pre-made graphic and be done with it. Like get rid of the creative process. But I think on the other hand, it's also the cost. So like you said, with the first plan that you can get with Midjourney, it's $10 a month, which is affordable for a beginner, but then you don't really get many images, like 200, I think it is a month, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's not much.
And if you're gonna refine your images and refine your prompts and really experiment with it. I mean, I started out on the $10 plan and I used it up real fast. So I quickly, went to that $30 plan.
Yeah. And whereas Creative Fabrica, I know initially when you sign up, it's a free trial and you might have to pay like $10 a month at one point, but they usually give you an offer for like, I don't know, $50 a year, something like that. So it's a lot cheaper than AI as of now. Like it might change with time, but I think, at the moment, it's not making those services obsolete. And if Creative Fabrica obviously keeps developing Sea of Spark, then that will also sort of put them ahead of other services that just ignore AI entirely. Right. So in your opinion, do you think that AI could replace us as print-on-demand sellers? Like, could it get to the stage where a platform like Merch by Amazon just says, we don't need the seller community anymore. We'll just tell an AI to do the entire job for us?
Well, I mean, anything could happen. I mean, who would have imagined AI happening in the first place on the level that it's happening? Personally, I kind of don't see that happening. For one thing, the whole print on demand, merch seller thing reminds me very much of like a middle school, junior high art contest. right? Where all these kids are submitting their artwork, their pictures, and they want to be, the best, and they want to be chosen. And so, there's so many, hundreds and, maybe thousands of us who are on Amazon, all, trying to get that sale. And we're all, working our tails off to try and get that great design and that great image and the great text and everything. And so on one level, why would Amazon need to do that when we're all, essentially working, for free or for very little? I mean, if you were to calculate my hourly rate, how much time I put into print on demand and how much money I've gotten back, I mean, that's depressing, but I have fun with it. And so, on that level, I think, there's nothing quite like a human who's working their tail off to design a great product. The other factor is that I think, there's websites like Zazzle and places where you can go to create a T-shirt. If somebody just wanted to create their own T-shirt, they wanted to have they wanted to choose the text, they wanted to choose the graphic, they wanted to just make their own T-shirt. That's great. But I think, there's something special about when you're shopping and you're looking for a T-shirt and you find something and wait, that's it, that's the one that I want. I think a lot of people, a lot of Amazon customers would not, come up with some of these ideas on their own for, a certain style of image or a certain phrase on a T-shirt or something like that. So, yes, an Amazon shopper could go to Amazon and type in, or to Zazzle or someplace like that and type in, I want a shirt that says, I'm a dog mom, and it has a picture of, their dog or something like that. But I think there's too many other great designs out there already, and there's too many of us who are, trying to be creative and come up with, unique, original, creative, interesting graphics and designs that I don't know if Amazon needs to do that. They might add some kind of an element to add that eventually. We'll see. I could be totally wrong.
Definitely interesting. That's some good points that I hadn't thought about before as well. I didn't even imagine it in the way of a customer comes to Amazon, types something in, and then a T-shirt gets created for them. I thought, the back end of Merch by Amazon, they just cut out the sellers and they would tell an AI, basically run a print-on-demand business, right? Do niche research, do design, do the listing, and all just runs automatically. I guess if it was cheaper than paying us the royalties, and if it was actually a thing, obviously as of now AI can't do that, and it's probably far from it. But if it was cheaper than paying us royalties, they might consider it. I mean, it's Amazon; they probably don't really care. But yeah, I can't see it happening any time in the near future. And even if it did happen, we'd still figure out something else. There's an interesting point I heard recently about this in a podcast, that think back 40, 50 years ago, how many people were employed in tech? Probably zero. Close to zero. And how many people are employed in tech now?
Or use technology.
And use technology. The way it's changed is extreme. And obviously tech has also stolen a lot of jobs in the process, right? 40, 50 years ago, a lot of jobs that people had then are now taken over by tech. But the workforce has sort of moved in the market to a new area. So even if it did come to that stage, I don't think that we should be worried that that's the end of the world. There will be something else coming up to move on to, in a sense. What do you think about that?
Well, I enjoy the creative process, and I enjoy creating. And I think there are people, when you think of what Etsy is, people enjoy going to buy handmade products. We print on demand. We often integrate from Printful, or use our designs through Etsy. But when I think of the traditional Etsy from maybe 5 years ago, when you went to Etsy, you were buying a handmade product. You were buying a scarf or a sweater or a wall hanging or something like that someone made, and you get some joy from thinking about the person who made that and supporting that craftsman or craftswoman, that person who does that. And so I think there is that element of of creating and being creative, that people are always going to enjoy that. And we'd all like to think that humans can't be replaced, but I enjoy the creative process. And I think if things were to change and Amazon were to get rid of the print on demand sellers and just do it all through AI, I think a lot of people would find other avenues to be creative. And so
probably.
it changed to where we're obsolete. Maybe someday could happen, but I think people will still be creative and enjoy creating.
Yeah, there'll be something else that comes up.
Creative products.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point with Etsy as well. Like that whole handmade, more like person to person business rather than big corporation. That definitely has a lot of like interest and value to it that I think would stick, rather than just saying, oh yeah, you're getting a handmade item from a robot. Like it doesn't sound as charming. Anyway.
Yeah, well, there's a certain satisfaction that comes from buying something that's handmade. Whether you're buying it online or going to a farmer's market or something like that, and getting something unique that you get to talk to the craftsman or person who's made the product. I think there's something special about that, and some people, will pay a premium for that.
Yeah, definitely. So to close this out, then, if anyone wants to ask you a question about whether it's AI or getting it up to your 10, where can they reach you? Would it be the Discord?
Probably through your Discord. That would probably be the best way. And again, I mean, I'm a tier 10 seller or a tier 100 seller. So I've got a few months under my belt, but I'm still a newbie. But I'm happy to share whatever insight that I've got. Probably the best way to connect would be through your Discord. I mean, Philip, I'll just say that your Discord's been very helpful and a lot of fun, and
good.
People on there are happy to help each other and give wisdom and give insight. That would be one sort of piece of advice I might give to tier 10 sellers is, you probably don't want to publicize your images and your niches and that kind of thing, and give away the farm. But I mean, if you can find somebody that you trust and can connect with, and have somebody actually look at your designs and say, yeah, this is great, but you might want to think about changing this. Having a trusted person, that's invaluable. Just having another eyes on your images and your graphics. So if somebody wanted to contact me, they could do it through Discord.
Yeah, that's definitely some good advice, I think, to close out on. That if you're struggling, find yourself a community, find someone you can trust, or make some friends, and you can just ask for feedback. You don't have to share it with everyone else. Just find one person, and you might get that person to see stuff that you're doing wrong, which you never noticed yourself, which is often the case, I think. Thanks a lot for your time, Steve. I think there was a lot of valuable lessons in there for people to implement in their own process. And it was really great having you.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Again, I'm so grateful to you for all the wisdom and support you provide for us. And
no, you're welcome. I really enjoy doing it. And thanks a lot for your time and coming onto this podcast. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you.